There's one body language sign at number 3 that 90% of people completely miss. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it in anyone again. Stick around because sign number 3 is the one that means they're already picturing you naked right now. Sign number 1 is the eye trace, and this was sneaky because most people confuse it with just eye contact. Here's the difference. When someone's genuinely attracted to you sexually, their eyes don't just meet yours and stay locked. Instead, you'll catch them doing a quick top-to-bottom scan, starting at your face, dipping down toward your lips or neck, then maybe your chest or hands, before snapping back up like nothing happened. It happens in under a second, so if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it completely. But if you slow down and actually watch someone's eyes, the next time you're talking to them, you'll start noticing this pattern everywhere. It's one of the oldest, most primal signals in human interaction. Our brains are wired to visually check out someone we want, even when we're trying to be polite about it. So next time you're wondering if someone's into you, stop listening to their words for a second and just watch where their eyes go. If this is already heading close to home, do me a favor, hit that like button and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. It genuinely helps this channel keep going. Sign number 2 is mirroring, and once you learn to spot it, you can't unsee it. This is when someone unconsciously copies your body language. You cross your legs, they cross theirs a few seconds later. You lean in to grab your drink, they lean in too. It's not something people do on purpose. It's actually your nervous system's way of saying I feel connected to you. I want to sync up with you. Psychologists call this rapport building, and it happens way more intensely when there's physical attraction involved. The key thing to watch for is the delay. Mirroring isn't instant. It's usually a few seconds behind your movement, which is what makes it unconscious instead of obvious mimicry. Try this yourself next time you're on a date. Change your posture randomly and see if they follow. If they do, that's their body telling you something their mouth probably hasn't said yet. Sign number 3 is what I call the nervous touch. When someone starts touching their own hair, neck, or collarbone while talking to you, this looks small, but it's actually loaded with meaning. When we're sexually drawn to someone, our body gets a little rush of adrenaline and touching soft, sensitive areas of our own skin is a subconscious way of self-soothing while also, and this is the wild part, suddenly showing off those same vulnerable areas to you. It's basically your body saying, look at how exposed and comfortable I'm around you, without saying a single word. Watch for this, especially during pauses and conversation. When nerves tend to spike the most, if you notice someone doing this every time, the conversation gets a little more personal or flirty. That's not a coincidence. That's their nervous system reacting to you in real time, whether they realize it or not. Sign number 4 is proximity control, which is basically how someone manages the physical space between you two. Pay attention to whether they're even closing the gap, leading in their conversation, sitting closer than necessary, or finding small reasons to be near you, like you're reaching for something just to end up beside you. Attraction messes with our sense of personal space in a very specific way. We want to be closer to people we're drawn to, even if we're not consciously choosing that. The flip side is just as telling. If someone keeps a strict, consistent distance no matter what, that usually signals that they don't feel that same pull. Try this in real conversations. Notice how it adjusts distance first and how often. If they consistently shrinking the gap between you two, especially in low-key, non-obvious ways, that's a strong, reliable signal that their interest goes beyond just being friendly. Sign number 5 is a vocal shift. Yes, their voice actually changes when they're attracted to you, and it's more noticeable than you'd think once you know what to listen for. When someone is nervous or excited around you sexually, their pitch often drops slightly, their pace slows down, and they might even add a subtle huskiness to their tone without realizing it. This happens because attraction triggers psychological changes, including in the vocal cords, that we don't consciously control. Compare how someone talks to you versus how they talk to a coworker or a stranger asking for directions. If there's a noticeable difference, especially a softer or a slower tone reserved just for you, that's meaningful. This is one of those signs that's hard to fake, which is exactly why it's so reliable. Start paying attention to tone shifts in your conversations, and you start picking up on your inner sway before someone ever says it directly. Be honest, have you ever caught yourself doing one of these signs first? Tell me which one. Sign number 6 is the delayed blink, which sounds oddly specific but is backed by real behavioral psychology. When we genuinely observe and looking at someone we're attracted to, our blink rate actually slows down because our brain is prioritizing visual focus over its normal blinking reflex. If someone's staring at you with a slower than usual blink pattern, especially paired with slightly widened eyes, that's a subconscious sign their brain is locked in and doesn't wanna look away even for a split second. This is different from just staring because it comes with a softness, not intensity or discomfort, but genuine visual absorption. Next time you're deep in conversation with someone, notice their blink rate compared to normal social interactions. A slower blink combined with sustained comfortable eye contact is one of the most subtle but scientifically backed signals that someone is physically and mentally tuned into you. Sign number 7, and this is the one most most people completely miss is asymmetrical smiling, where one side of someone's mouth lifts slightly higher than the other when they're talking to you. This isn't a fake or polite smile, is actually linked to a genuine emotional reaction happening in real time, often when they're trying to downplay or hide. A big, full, symmetrical smile is usually social and polite, the kind we give everyone, but that slightly crooked, one-sided smirk that's often involuntary and tied to a flirtatious or sexually charged thought crossing their mind in that exact moment. Watch for this, especially during moments of eye contact or when the conversation gets a little more personal or teasing. If you catch that subtle asymmetry paired with a slight blush or lowered gaze afterward, that combination is a sign that something more than friendly interest is happening beneath the surface. Got a specific situation you're trying to figure out? Drop it in the comments. I actually read them, and your question might turn into next week's video. Sign number 8 is bird synchronization, which is probably the most intimate and least talked about signal on this list. When two people are deeply attracted to each other, their breathing patterns naturally start to sync up without either person consciously trying to make that happen. This usually shows up as much breathing pace, close, quiet moments sitting side by side during a hug or even during a deep one-on-one conversation. It's your nervous systems literally aligning with each other in real time, which is why the signal tends to show up more in already established chemistry rather than at first meeting. If you wanna test this, pay attention to your breathing rhythm the next time you're physically close to someone you're curious about and notice if theirs starts to match yours, or vice versa. When this happens naturally and consistently, it's one of the deepest, most psychologically genuine signs that real attraction and comfort exist between you two. Which sign hit you the hardest? Number 3, number 7, or number 8? Drop the number below.